Christmas.
It's
on.
Omega Squad podcast.
It is on popping.
Nitro. We got Rice bitching.
It's Rice's podcast, man.
And we got special guest Coach Steve, my brother from another mother from New York. Let's go. Let's get it.
Nigga, it's not Omega Squad podcast. It's Rice's podcast.
Yes, it is. Rice didn't want to do it, so now I'm doing it. Fuck out.
Well, you're right. He didn't want to do it. He drawing.
Let's go. What's good, Coach? You got the floor. So now I'm doing it. Fuck out. Yo, Coach, you gotta say something, yo.
There you go. Right there.
Nigga, cut this shit off.
That nigga is dead silent, man.
Coach ain't saying shit. All right, Coach don't want to say shit. All right, but anyway. All right.
I mean, you give me like 5 minutes, I might say something, but I definitely got food in my hand.
Oh,
Niggas is scared. Niggas is scared.
Fucking mean we scared. I ain't.
All right, it's live.
Oh,
It's raw. Let's keep it
so we're
raw.
gonna come back to him in a minute. Instead, all right, what else we gonna talk about? What the fuck was we talking about?
It being Rice's podcast, you just take it
All right,
over?
no, fuck that. Rice was bitching and he doesn't want to record it. He
Whatever,
doesn't want to
nigga.
podcast.
Nigga, we
So
wasn't
this
even
our
starting
podcast.
this shit now. This is gonna be a New Year thing, nigga.
Ain't no
This
New
the
Year's
intro.
thing.
This
New
the
Year,
intro
New
right
Year,
here.
New me, whatever. We
There's no
start
intros. Intros at the New Year.
We starting 3 days early.
Plus, how we gonna start? How we gonna do this shit without Kenny?
Yo, he gonna come in. Don't worry
We
about
don't
it.
need Kenny. We don't need Kenny right now. Kenny be in when he get in. He get in where he fit in.
Oh my god.
This the pre-release right here. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
So-
what's going on, y'all?
Here's the topic. Why is Philly ass in fighting games?
Why is Philly ass in fighting games? This has been talked about amongst the scene numerous times. Me and Rice used to talk about that shit back in Street Fighter 4 days when they didn't nobody want to meet up, didn't nobody want to grind it out, and basically it was just me and Rice grinding it out, and our top players was all glitch lords, so they would just glitch. They would glitch. It'd be just the bums trying to get out there and play play consistently.
Who were the bums?
Huh?
Who were the bums?
People who don't make it out of pools and tournament. You know who you are. Like,
You know, like myself, I ain't make it out of pools. I drown all the time.
Yeah, right,
And some
right.
of the people that's actually good in Street Fighter 5.
Niggas was doing alright when I was over there, and then I left, and then I went to shit again.
Yeah, exactly. It all went to hell, and
Oh, yeah,
nobody
went
want
to
to play because coach wasn't there, and the people who was on top wasn't trying to teach the up and comers to be good. So the rate that they were improving, myself included, the rating that they were improving was a lot slower than it could have been if they were like playing with the OGs all the time. But since that didn't happen, and basically the only way you was gonna get better is if you went to the freaking clubhouse, and the clubhouse was a secret ass location that only a select few knew. So your ass generally wasn't coming to the clubhouse unless you had already got good.
Shit, I
Get
ain't
in
get
where
to come to
I
the
fit in, huh?
clubhouse.
Let's
Time to
Let's
get
talk.
good.
Get in where I fit in, huh?
Yep, get in.
Let's go.
What's up, Kenny?
You think I didn't hear that shit? What's up?
No, I figured your ass did. So I figured you'd be coming right in here.
Speak
What's
of
up,
the devil and he shall appear.
Exactly. Why you think we was talking about you?
Oh my god.
So what's
We
up?
live now.
Anyway, we live. The topic is why is Philly like consistently ass in fighting games for the most part. Shout outs to my nigga Punk because he don't count because he's primarily an online player.
It's an easy but complicated question. The easy way is because they choose to suck. Like, there's one thing to complain about something and fix it, or it's one thing to complain just to hear yourself talk.
Man, there's a whole lot of people complaining to hear themselves talk. Generally, like I was saying, like the OGs didn't want to bring nobody up and then complain about they ain't got no competition. And the new players basically don't want to put in the work that it takes to actually grind out and get good, and then complain that people aren't teaching them. And nobody's coming together, and
agree with that
nobody's like
statement.
basically and nobody's basically trying to grind out and become a solid freaking, a solid community as a city.
Collective.
Yeah, it's a solid collective community. Philly is basically
just collectively ass.
just collectively ass because it's subdivided into a bunch of little cliques who get like their little local wins and then
Ray of sunshine.
and everybody seems to be happy with that. So I just fell back, dog. Like, at some point, I was trying to bring the whole city together and be on some New York shit where we just grinding out all the time, but
You can't.
I can't.
They gotta want to do it.
people are going to show interest if they want to show interest.
This fool was pretty much trying to bring everybody together in this shit, and
but it's not the same with Fu because Fu's a casual player. Fu just wants everyone to be happy with, and that's understandable. But there's only so much he can do as not necessarily like a life.
Fu was the one who brought in like stuff like that.
Did a good thing.
Yeah, he did. He did do a good thing for like the casual players, but the hardcore players don't even like leaving their house. So it's like, how are you?
You go to the clubhouse, and most people don't even know where that is.
I still don't know what the fuck is that.
There's so many like options you can use before where it's just like, all right, then so no one wants to get better as a collective. It's just play when we can, session when we can. I know everybody got work stuff. Like it's just not, yeah. But
I think the clubhouse more than niggas that actually live in Philly. That's OD.
Well, that's the thing.
Because
You got invited more than people who actually live in Philly.
right, because you're good, so they feel there's something to learn from you. So I'm guessing it's just, I don't know. I'm not saying it's a VIP thing because I've been in the clubhouse plenty of times myself. But it's more
same.
so,
But you know how long it took me to get to the clubhouse, though? It took me years to get to the clubhouse.
right?
Damn,
but
I
it's
still
just,
never got it. Damn, it sucks.
It's not nothing against you. It's just people
That don't suck. I mean, they're ass now anyway.
Oh, baby.
Well, see that's what I was getting around to, but you did it.
The shit talk portion has started.
No, it's not a shit talk portion. It's like factual.
I mean,
they don't like the
retired.
game. They don't like the games that are out now, and I understand that because before it was more of an option select where, hey, it's like we like this game, but we don't really play it. Oh, we're beating you, haha.
No, it's definitely still an option select.
You think so?
Yeah, what the fuck?
True. Oh, all right.
It would be the same thing if they actually played.
No, but I'm saying even more so
Yeah, they
now.
would do the same thing.
It's more hyperactive now, where it's like we really don't like the game, so we're really not going to play. Before it was just, oh, we're beating you, haha, we're playing casually, blah blah blah. But we like certain aspects of the game. But now it's just like, no, we don't like the game, and no, we don't want to play. So it's like both negatives.
I mean, they would hit you with the option select, even though they be like Bri used to hit you with the option select, like he don't actually play. When all he do is go home and hop on Xbox Live and be grinding it out on Julian account.
I was gonna say,
But he would still try to use that.
It's hard to tell because there's like 5 people using that account at one time because it's all like
Brian and Julian play the same characters for the most part too.
Yeah, so it's weird to say that. It's hard to tell, and it's fine. But realistically, it's like they're not obligated to just help us at every peck and call. Like at the end of the day, that's still their house, and they invited who they wanted to invite. They have every right. But at the same time, you can't make Brian would make posts. Oh no, I'm sorry. Brian would come to sessions or temple tournaments, and I would beat him. Pretty not badly, but I would beat him. Yeah. And he would be like, "Well, I don't play this game anymore." Like almost on instinct to me
immediately.
So it's like that was.
You tell her Sanford. That shit is just instinction.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think it's just because them hanging out together, they just started to hear excuses from one another and just be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna say that now." But
those other people, you just can't win. Like no matter what you do. So
yeah, you're
not supposed to try. Yeah, you're not supposed to try.
Like that's it.
You just gotta ignore them.
Yeah, if you beat them,
I remember Coach would get so mad, when they did that shit.
Yeah, it's like you beat them and be upset. You you lose to them and they'd be like, "Well, why is no one good?" or blah blah blah. It's just it goes any type of way, right? But it's like he would say it, and Lamar was there to witness it. I beat him in Ultra, and he'd be like, he'd said the second it said KO, I knew you were going to beat me. You're the only one here that can beat me. Blah 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 blah. So it's like,
which is so untrue. Where
is this coming from?
Before too, like
You know what's frustrating?
Yo, Lamar,
I almost beat this nigga twice. That shit is frustrating. Because they're like hearing shit like that, and they're just like, damn. But you don't play this game.
Like I said, Omega Squad.
You walk in there, you challenge everybody in the room. They did that shit at Broad Street. He did that shit with Tech. He just walked in. I could beat anybody in this game. I swear to God.
That was just funny. And I'm pretty sure Brian was just putting on the show. I don't think he was serious. And if he was, then that's just sad. But
I mean, no, but the problem with you is if you take Brian seriously, you're stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not exclusive to you. Like, if anything malicious ever comes out of Brian's mouth, he's fucking with you. That's what people don't realize. And when people take
Brian's actually a pretty cool dude. Like, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
no, the 100%. Shout out to Brian. That's my boy. But if you take Brian seriously, I'm laughing at you and him. Because it's like, you're falling into his game and you're making it better for us to watch. And that shit is hilarious to watch.
He just likes to talk shit. The only person I think that he seriously came at was Kyle. That's about it.
Oh my god!
But that's the story for another day.
For another day.
I was about to say my piece on that, but I'll stop.
No. Let's stay focused. We talk about why Philly ass at fighting games, and they ass at fighting games because everybody's out for themselves, but most people don't.
Nobody's good enough to be out for themselves. What the hell?
Exactly. Most people they don't know what to do in order to operate that way, and they're not skilled enough that they can be like, oh, I'm out for myself and I'm going to reach the top by myself. The only anomaly, the freaking glitch in the Matrix was Punk.
Yeah, it was definitely just Punk,
who basically just played online all the time and wasn't even part of the Philly FGC, and then just came out of nowhere and started wrecking everybody. Like, that's pretty much what you have to do in this era of games if people from Philly are going to get strong. It's no Philly as a community anymore because everybody's too subdivided and off in their own little cliques or completely out for themselves. And the funny thing is, at this point, I can even say myself included. Like, I'm not the type of person who I will freaking shield myself or excuse myself from the shit being talked on, because I talk shit about myself too. Like, at this point, I'm going to be an online warrior. I'm not trying to session with people except for the boys, the Omega Squad, like you, Coach, the
reason why you're like that now is because you put yourself out there.
Yeah, I know. I did that a while ago, but even then, we're not talking about history, though. We're talking about the here and now. The here and now, I don't go out to sessions. I mostly don't come out to locals. I run my majors.
You know what? And it took me a while to realize where Howling came from until I went to it to myself. Not necessarily to eavesdrop or option select, but I would come knowing I don't play the game and beat people, and it was just like, I don't feel like I got better. I feel like I'm just playing and showing.
Why am I here?
Yeah, it's just like there was one point where I was like, this is not. It felt at one point to me personally that it's not a fighting game community. It's just a quote unquote community that just happens to play fighting games sometimes.
Pretty much, like, people just get together and talk shit, shoot the shit, and I guess play some fighting games every once in a while.
The amount of complaints I would hear, it just feels like, I don't know if it's like enough people to help with the right things, because I'll go in the group sometime and I'll say it myself. There'll be times where I see posts in the Philly FGC, I'm just like, yo, you can go, you can leave the group. Not necessarily because
you're not posting anything helpful.
Yeah, it's like, thank you. I'm not, if we're gonna take it there, we can take it there with names. Because there's a couple posts recently where I'm just like, then why the fuck are you typing right now? Just go. Like, I'm sorry, I don't have energy for it anymore. I hate to sound dismissive because I'm doing school and I'm getting ready for Dragon Ball FighterZ after I graduate. Yay, me! But regardless of that, it's like, I'm going to be playing Dragon Ball FighterZ heavy. Are you in or you out? I don't want to hear complaints. I don't want to hear shit about, oh, why is there no one here for this session, or why is there no one here? If you can play online, if the connection is good and that is good, we can make it poppin'. If you're actually serious about playing, I'll give you, well, Holland will give you his address, and we can play and grind it out, and we're going to get better as a collective. Other than that, I don't want to hear shit anymore. I don't want excuses.
So
I know, right.
Of course we are.
But I'd rather deal with it personally, like in person, talking about what you can do better, instead of someone going,
you gonna hear it in person.
Oh my god,
you gonna hear it everywhere.
No one helps me. There's no session here. I'm very upset.
Helping people. Fuck helping people.
The FGC is very frustrated. Why is no one helping me?
Right, I'm with you, B.
How do I put it?
Because you can't.
Hold on. Let Brian speak.
Out of all of the bullshit that people want to talk about community and fighting games and putting shit together, there's only a handful of principles that actually matter. Like, when a game comes out, if people want to play it, they play it. They learn what they can. If they want to get better at the game, they go up against competition. They find people that play the game, they get together, they set up sessions, they play it. Fuck whether you win or lose. It's just literally about playing the game. If you learn, you learn. If you don't, you don't. That's how the winners and the losers get set up. Like, there's been instances where literally nobody has played some of the games that like we've picked up, and it will literally just be like, "Yo, you want to play this? Sure." We sit there, we lab it up for 2 days, and then like all of a sudden we'd have like all the tech in the game, and if anybody tried to plug it in, we could literally just fill them in on what every character could do and all the possibilities. But like nowadays, like people literally just sit up there and talk about their ego. Like, "Oh, I'm running this major, but nobody showed up." Well, fuck your major then. Like, it's not everybody else's responsibility to magically show up because you want to run a tournament. Like, you need to gauge interest, you need to contact people, you need to advertise the shit out of that. Like, if you're running a venue or an event, that's a business. But, like, it's the same situation with sessions, casuals, whatever you want to fucking call your exhibitions and your gameplay. Like, if you are not advertising the fuck out of your game and letting people know you're interested, it's nobody else's responsibility to jump on it and start riding the game for you. Like, a community literally only needs to be a handful of people, and everybody else jumping on the bandwagon talking about Philly's not good about this, Philly's not good about that. There's probably motherfuckers in Philly that could trash half the people that go to like majors, but these motherfuckers are stuck behind like a 9-to-5 job or got kids.
Fucking Joe.
And that's just the reality of the situation. Like, if you want people to show up, generate interest and give them opportunities. Like, for real, the
If
only
they show,
person
they show up. If they don't, they don't.
exactly, like the only person that like could like literally just talk shit about whatever they want for Philly, I think would be Big A, and like everybody that like is in his circle, because they've literally like just stepped up and did everything that the FGC needed, and like the people that support them, they showing up, they doing what they need to do. Everybody else, if you open your fucking mouth, you're wasting your breath. You're wasting whatever life was given to you if you're not actually sitting there and supporting shit. Everything else is pointless. Like, you play the games, you show interest, you communicate with people so y'all can get your session set up, and nothing else matters. Fuck your ego, fuck whether you win or lose. Like, that's all part of the game. That's the reason why there are winners and losers. It's a competition. That's it. Deal with it.
I mean, yeah, I think that, but like the issue is that there's too many people who just want to complain and not enough people who are willing to actually get out there.
It's ego. That's all ego. That has nothing to do with the game. Like that, I don't even play this bullshit. So what? Maybe you're naturally fucking gifted. If you don't fucking play it, why don't you pick it up?
Who cares?
You just wanted to talk. That's all your ego. This has nothing to do with the game. This has nothing to do with the community. This is just you wanting to open your fucking mouth.
Yep. And then when you call them out on it and say, like, "Well, why are you playing it?" Then they go, "Well, see, this is the problem. We're not united and shit like that." And I'm just like,
I feel like you're talking about this is the problem. If you feel like that's united,
I've heard people say that. You've heard it too.
You make a call to arms. Like, you don't just sit. Oh, this is why we're not. Fuck, why we're not doing it. All right, like you can make a problem if you want it to be there, but making a solution is just as easy. You just got to fucking put in the effort. But it's easier to say we're not doing shit and then to just walk off than it is to actually try to put anything together.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right. I actually got a question for Coach. Like, why do you think the New York scene is good, or like it takes off like it does? Like, what do you think is like the main thing? Like, what does New York have?
New York has their cliques
all the players,
but I actually just think it's a more talented pool of players. Yeah. Like overall, like because they got their cliques, like people are, you know, like quote unquote Hollywood shit. It's the same thing everywhere, but this still doesn't affect like how they perform as much. Like it does, because some people could be doing like a lot better, but they're just still overall, I think, just a little more talented.
Well, I think I'll ask you this then. But there's still more people. I mean, I don't like that term, just straight talented, because that's too like blanket.
Well, not like talented. Like, all right, so
people willing to, but I'm saying, so are you saying they're more willing to grind?
Yeah. Like, it's not that they're just talented. It's just like they put forth the effort.
They're willing to learn more than others. I feel like that's what I've noticed. Like, I don't mean to cut you off, Steve, but wait. But for you specifically, or anybody else, you guys are workhorses. Like, you guys don't give up and just be like, fuck this, I don't like this game. It's like, I'm going to figure out how to get past this mix-up, or I'm going to figure out what the best frame chapter is. It's just like, you guys are willing to be more I don't know, assertive, I guess? I don't know the right word to put, but...
Talent is a myth. Like, there's no such thing as like somebody that literally picks up a game and just knows everything. Like, the code doesn't just magically get absorbed into your brain. You don't have frame data once you push a button on a character. Like, you can record it, you can analyze it, sure, but it's all work. Like, and that goes into every fighting game that exists. Like, you have to push the buttons, like, understand the characters, know what the tools are, and like the specific mechanics of the game. Because, like, look at all of the stuff with Dante that they put in every version of Marvel so far. That's just using one character as an example. Like, the data for the characters changes between games, and like all of his shit is special. So you can't tell me that somebody just like picked up the game and was like, "Oh, I understand everything that this character could do." Especially
I will say though,
the thing is, some people learn faster than others. Though.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Everybody learns.
Learning faster.
That's where it branches off in the circumstances of how you learn. Yeah, exactly.
Like, the difference between somebody that learns fast and somebody that learns slow is just the amount of time that they put in.
Yeah, that's it. It's just that some people might have to spend less time, but still, but as long as you continue to learn, you should still be able to get to the same level eventually.
Right.
Well, other thing, people gotta explore like different avenues of learning, like learning shit too. Because not everybody learns like fast, just playing people and grinding. Like I learn faster, like actually just studying videos, and then like when I'm in training mode, I always have like some kind of like study material next to me while I'm in training mode, and I just break down man shit. Because that's always how I learn fast, and then when I'm training with or whatever.
Yeah, I remember you told me in Ultimate Marvels like you got it good because you figured out how to exploit the engine to your favor, which a lot of people, you put that in a sentence, they're like, what does that mean? And
yeah, I think
you know what I mean. Like, you can't explain it to everybody.
Right, and I think a lot of the things is, well, and this is just even going beyond Philly or New York or whatever. I think just a lot of people in general don't know how to use. Like, they don't know how to train. They don't know how to like practice. And learn. Like, people don't know, and I think in New York and in other scenes that might be thriving or might be better, there's a lot of people who know and have passed around that kind of knowledge on what you're supposed to.
But the biggest problem a lot of scenes have is they don't ask questions. Like, people will get their ass beat over and over again, get caught with the same mix.
That is a big problem.
Lamar, like that's I mean, you're
that's
not wrong,
different,
but it's hard to ask questions when you don't even know where to start asking. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because if you ask me a vague ass question like, "Why did I lose?" Like, how am I supposed to answer that?
Right.
Well, other than giving you an answer like, "Oh, because I'm better than you."
Yeah, and I don't want to generalize, but it's a matter of perspective. Like, I was watching Top 8 in like a blank game, right? And I saw something the other person didn't see, and when I told them afterwards, they were saying I wasn't thinking that at the time. So it's like it's like what you see, but they don't at that moment when it comes to what to learn and what to punish and et cetera, et cetera. It's like a million different scenarios that have happened, like, and that's for everybody. I know it's not just like Steve will be upset, and I'll wait till like probably the next day to talk to him because he'd be furious because he probably knows what I'm going to tell him. So there's no point in me telling him what I saw because he didn't do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, so, exactly. So it's like sometimes he'll admit like I don't know what I did wrong, and I'll tell him, and he'll be like maybe, you know what I mean. But there's some people that just don't want to hear or listen to another perspective. So if you're not,
because like B said, the ego's getting away.
Yeah, so it's like exactly. So it comes back to ego, right? So if you can't listen to someone else that's telling you what might be the 100% the fail-safe option of what you should have done, then you're just like arguing with yourself essentially.
You're not going to get better.
Yeah, you're not going to get better. You're gonna get.
I don't know. I'm losing over and over and over again. Something's gonna tell me to just find some help, nigga. Like,
but that's you. But that's you. Like, some people literally just sign up and lose, and then just leave for the day without asking a question.
Man, some people are so stubborn that they'll lose 50 times and then come back the next day and play the exact same way, thinking that it's gonna go differently.
Without ever saying shit like from the day before, like never try to ask anything.
I mean, don't get wrong. There are studious people, like from what I saw at NEC, like for the Top 8 or whatever. I saw Jug watching his match in the archive from like watching like somebody clipped like something for him, like a frame chat. Like somebody in the stream chat was watching a match for him and sent him a clip of what he could have done, and he was watching it. People don't do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people are willing to help you if they find you on Twitter. They'll be like, yo, you should have done this. And if you listen to it, you might apply it to your game and win when you from the loser side of the bracket. But some people just cross their arms, throw their phone against the fucking wall and shatter it, and wait to lose in top 8.
To be honest, some people be saying dumb shit though.
Salt.
Like let's say it's like Marvel like 2-2, and then like the last stuff you get hit like with an overhead. You know you're tight, and that dumb fuck's gonna be like, oh you should have blocked overhead instead of low. I'm like
you don't.
Well, that's one of them.
People have done that to me, and I'm like, you need to get the fuck out of my face.
No, I feel you. You know what that is?
No, that's one of the moments I'll be snapping on somebody.
Obvious, you motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. And with that particular circumstance, how I feel about it, you don't know what else to say because you probably realize that if they did block it, you would have lost. Or that's how I feel about it. But regardless of that, you are right. There are some circumstances in which they'll say that, and your immediate response is, water's wet. You know what I mean? Like, why would you tell me the most simple thing possible? It's like, oh, I got hit by a crossing mix-up. Oh yeah, don't get hit.
But look, I'm gonna put it to you like this.
That's probably saying
like this, yo. In general, the reason that we're not more of a citywide community and freaking all that yay rah sis boom bah bullshit is because at the end of the day, there aren't enough people that actually care enough to make Philly, quote unquote Philly as a whole, like great.
But then why do they
great again? But then people bitch because they like to complain and not actually do anything. So like if that applies to you, then if the shoe fits, wear it. If it don't, let it fly. But as for me, I'm just waiting for Dragon Ball to come out, and I'm looking to hit up my key people. And I'm looking to grind out. And shit, if I can take a break from actually running the damn tournament at Winter Brawl, then I'll actually enter, and I'm coming for everybody head. And that's basically all it's going to be.
And I do want to say that whoever was saying that whatever Food did wasn't enough was bullshit. Because Food literally had like Geo Braun and Demon Hill in the same room running sets with people so that they could learn shit.
No, well, that wasn't the point though. The point wasn't that it's not what that Food didn't do enough. It's that nothing that Food could have done could have made other people.
No, at that point, it wasn't even on Food. It was never. He had a foundation for everybody to just you guys can play.
He gave everybody space and opportunity, and he did all he could. At that point, you can't do no more. Like it's up for everybody else to actually get out there and grind it out, and that was the point with that. Like not that Food didn't do enough. It's just that Food can't do it for you.
Like, I mean, you'd literally have to hook up an IV to people and be like, here, sit here and play this. If you wanted them to actually be, like, amazing at anything the way Philly's set up right now. And, like, there's only a handful of people that, like, actually lab it up enough to get enough tech and, like, learn the matchups in a number of different games to actually do anything.
So question to the group then. Do you think Philly's big problem is that we're playing too many games?
No.
No, that's never the case.
There's
New York play more games than we do.
Right.
Yeah.
They could probably still beat us in the game we played mainly. That's how I feel. Like I've seen them come out of.
It's like there's just a huge lack of effort, I think, and just
it's funny that you said that because like I was running what's the name's pool. I was running Josh Wigfall's pool, a New York dude, Marvel 2 dude. And he was beating people, and him and Mike Infinite were just laughing at the fact that he was winning games because he was beating people with the cheesiest shit, and they were getting like table flip frustrated. And you know what I mean? I think that speaks for itself. So.
Showing people something that they don't know in a 20-year-old game. It's like, all right, like
mechanics really never leave you unless you let them. So that's how I feel about it, especially something as like fundamental as fighting games.
Well, I mean, but at that point, if you get hit with some dumb shit, like the meta for Marvel 2 has been like well known for decades now. So if you play that game and you get slapped out by some scrub shit, then that is 100% your own fault.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the answer to why I feel his ass is the same reason why anybody's ass fault.
Because they choose to be.
It's your own fault and you don't put up enough effort. There's That simple. So I'm gonna get out here and try to do the effort. And I'm not going to try to, come on, guys, everybody, whatever.
For y'all.
I'm not searching for nobody. That's what I'm saying. Get in where you fucking fit.
Right, you know where we are. You know the 2 hotels we'll be at. 3 now: Crown, Essington, and Clarion, and Valley Forge. If you know the address, there's no way you didn't know about it. You know somebody that knows somebody, and you know where it's at. So I don't know what else to say.
Hey, ain't nothing else to say.
So what was the next topic, or was that it?
So going forward, what's the open challenge?
Open challenge?
Open challenge?
Fucking open challenge.
No, I mean, I'm talking about grinding for fucking Philly. Like, going forward, what can these niggas do?
Philly, you must not understand the current conversation.
I understand the wrong.
I'm grinding.
You heard it wrong.
I'm trying to grind myself. Like, I'm trying to go out to eat and do some damage.
We got you. Just go ahead.
Nigga, you still gonna be ass. Shut up.
Shut up.
No. All right, fellas. What were you going to say, Rick? What are you saying?
No, I was actually about to say, all right, so what's the next topic?
Well, I don't know. You talk about what the open challenge is. I'm just like, the whole point is...
Y'all niggas want to get better, y'all niggas need to play, pretty much.
Yeah, everybody got to put in their individual effort. Playing Dragon Ball. Hit me up. I make my ass very available.
On that note, I feel like it's. What do you guys want to talk about before I even say my spiel?
I don't know. Look, we started off Riff started off this whole makeshift ad hoc podcast shit because we was in here talking shit about any and everything and any and everybody, and basically somebody was basically on some I bet you won't. Fucking make a podcast out of this shit right the fuck now. So that's why Riff did it.
I wanted to ask what was going on so bad, but I'm like, this is a live podcast. I'm gonna be like an asshole for ass.
No, you can ask this whatever now. It's not like we are particularly. It's not like
this is off the whim. Like,
this is off the cuff. All right. Cool.
So here's what Giuliano said in the live chat. Don't get hit. Puts my stress meter at 200% on Metal Gear.
I've heard it before.
A comment for the viewers. That's
responded what I said
because not helpful advice.
Giuliano, I swear to God, I understand exactly what you mean. I love you, brother, because I feel exactly the same way. I've heard people say that. People have said it to me, and a part of me is just like, what makes you think that sentence was acceptable in any part of the country? What the fuck made you think that was the right thing to say? In any
Don't get hit.
Kenny, if I ever said that to you, that is not me trying to be helpful. That is 100% me just trying to fuck with you. Like,
right,
really,
but
I don't think anybody knows that. Nobody thinks that that's helpful advice.
Right, exactly. But I'm saying, like, people, I've heard it said in tournament, like, be like, good shit, man, you got me, blah 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 blah. What do you think I can do? Don't get hit. And they say that, and right up their stick and walk away, and the dude is scratching his head like he just said the deepest shit possible, and it's like, oh my god, I have to walk away because that is fucking embarrassing because.
Yo, I've heard it before, and all I can say is, actually, I think I've said that to somebody before. But
don't get bopped.
No, I think it was playing Marvel 3, and I was like doing my Zero shit, and they got hit by Zero, and they just lost. And I actually said that to somebody, but the reason I said it in that particular situation
is Zero,
because I can't even think of anything else to say. Like, if you get hit with Zero, you lost. Like.
Yeah, I mean, there's some. Don't get me wrong. There's advice so stupid that it's actually smart. I hate to sound that way, but
it's like I don't know how to help you, though.
Yeah, it's just you have to hit me before I hit you, type shit. It's like I'm sorry, but when it comes to Marvel, it's a game where it's essentially and I swear to God, I've heard some people say the best advice where actually if you hold back and do a raw tag, you might get a combo off the raw tag and get a full combo and kill me. And that's situational, and some characters can do it, but and then
that's better than don't get hit.
Yeah, exactly. And there's some people that just be like, "What should I do to avoid Zero?"
Nigga, don't get hit is the sickest advice you can give anybody.
Right.
That's actually my shit.
You do that?
Marvel 3, I'm just like, damn, nigga, you got hit. That's all that.
I remember you saying it to me, you fucking jerk.
I don't tell them how they got hit, why they got hit.
But that's what I'm saying. For some people, they
would just grab me with Nova and be like, "Oh, you got."
I could imagine. Yo, you know that meme? You know that dude? You know that meme with the dude at the bar, and he's like, somebody says something to him, and then he walks away, and he's like, the next frame you see him like drinking like 10 beers with his head in his hands. I feel like that's how some people feel about that shit after they hear it. Like they'll just like internalize what he just said, and they'll be like, "Damn, I got hit."
Like
it's just a montage of them in the shower eating breakfast, and they're just like their mind is fucked.
It's like the Joe when the boy leave you hanging and shit. It's like that.
Yeah, the boy leave you hanging, and he just sitting there like that. That facial expression
in the shower at the basketball. But yeah, there's no other way to put it. Sometimes, like, don't get me wrong. Like there's some people say
play that's not really applicable though.
No, it's not. I know there's something almost there's almost something you can get out of or do in a situation to get out of something. Because
like,
he'll be like,
"Don't get hit." Like, okay.
Yeah, you're gonna yeah, so there's and I swear to God, you might even see it in Dragon Ball FighterZ because there's shit like Gotenks having a full screen command grab, and somebody's gonna say, "Don't get hit," and you're gonna be like,
"No, avoid the command grab."
Avoid the command.
Like, nigga, how?
That's when they pick up their arcade stick and be like, "Don't get hit," and they throw it at you, and it's like.
So Giuliano said, "I've actually been told that in Blaze Blue, don't get hit."
Yeah, like what?
That's a problem.
It's like, all right, but that's not going to help you win the matchup though. Like, can you tell me something on how not to get hit? Like, can you tell me where I'm supposed to position myself to avoid all the news like swords and bullshit and all of that? Like, just don't get hit is like that's nothing. In Marvel, it's like there's nowhere in the screen is zero.
Another sick. Not necessarily OS, but like one thing you say to like somebody else, be like, "How can I block that?" You just say, "I don't know." I think that pisses people off more than don't get hit. When you get hit by something random and their excuse is, "I don't know why it hit you," or "I don't know what you should do."
Man, that's 100% legit because I don't know. I don't fucking know. And
but that's true. It becomes circumstantial though. But no, finish.
If it's like a true 50-50, like or some zero shit where it's like the difference frames on whether you block that left or right.
You blocked right.
You gotta guess. Like I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like in Marvel, like I create setups where I don't know what side it hits on because I don't care. It's not my job to know.
Say that shit.
Like
as long as they're getting the hit, you actually
you know it's bad when you doing it like
my job is to know what I'm supposed to do after it hits and what I'm supposed to do after it gets blocked. I don't care the side.
How to confirm and where.
And you just watching to see if it gets hit or blocked. Like isn't that like that javelin, that energy javelin, and then you like dash on either side? Or
yeah, like I just dash and like I don't know.
It's like, did that hit? Did you do it with?
I want to ask
timing? Like, no.
Did you tell Steve? Did Flux ask you what side it was on? And you said I don't know to him.
What happened?
I said, I asked during the two exhibitions y'all had. Did he ever ask you before or after how to block that mix up? And you say I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure he did. I was there when that happened.
That's fucking incredible, dude.
It's like, what side do you block that on? It's like, I don't know.
But Steve's life, like goal in life, is to troll Flux anyway. So it's like he's just saying anything to get with him.
You can tell when coach is winning when he's trolling the shit out you. If he's trolling the shit out you, if he's trolling the shit out you while y'all play, he's winning.
Yeah,
100%. That's basically your strategy. Like in Street Fighter. If he started doing some blocking nonsense, I'm like, I lost. And he would just be looking at me like,
he gets to run it back, unfortunately.
You got
about to ask you about that. Yeah, like,
y'all can run it back.
How you feel about...
Okay, so that's a good transition. Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition, almost everybody got the character.
Street Fighter 5.
Okay. All right, next topic after that.
No, we can talk about it. But
so for real, just so...
I mean, you want to elaborate on fuck Street Fighter 5?
No, I'm saying, how do you feel about Arcade Edition, whether you like or hate the game?
I'm going to say there's probably still not going to be a 2-player rematch button.
I've been saying that since the game came out in vanilla.
Because Capcom is a bunch of fucking monkeys, and they don't know how to actually balance or properly program.
And guess what does have a rematch button for both players? Dragon Ball Fighter.
Like I'm going to play Arcade to test out Sakura, and then a week later, I'm going to be playing Dragon Ball, and I'm not going to care no more. Like, and that's really is all there is to it. I said I would play Street Fighter 5 again if they fix the game, But are they going to fix the game? Let's be fucking honest. Hell no, they ain't going to fix the game. Game's still going to be ass.
What could they
going to be trash.
Wait, listen to what Rice said. What did you say, Rice?
He said what could they do to fix the game? And if they were going to fix the game at this point, it would have to be like an entirely different game.
Okay, but what?
They got to throw the whole game away.
It's like, how would they fix the game? Make Street Fighter 6. There you go.
Street Fighter: Realm Reborn.
They made Turn Fighting EX later in the Street Fighter EX4. There, the game's fixed.
Oh shit!
Oh, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that, bro.
So I mean, I'll just start it off on a serious note. For me, it was I feel like I'm contractually obligated. Like I feel like Capcom Illuminati just has my house bugged because I said in Vanilla Street Fighter 5, if Cody is ever in the game, I'm gonna play it, good or bad. Bad or good, I was like, I'm gonna play it because I love the character. And for some reason, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, regardless of like whether you guys agree. There is a bit of self-hatred to make you play a game that you don't like.
Yeah,
because your character's in it. I know what you're gonna say, Rice. Chun is fine, but regardless of that, it's what I'm going with. It's just half the time it's just you have to kind of swallow your pride and be like, you know what, this is my character. I'm gonna try to enjoy this. I might win or lose. I might body everybody. I might win Evo or Capcom Cup or whatever it may be. But I think characters specifically that you do like or love keep you somewhat interested in the game. It's different for everybody, and I know it's a circumstantial thing, but except for you, because if you play Ryu,
nigga plays every.
I mean, but I play every what?
You play every main fucking boring character in any game, nigga.
Whatever, dude. You play Chun-Li. Shut up.
So
Chun-Li ain't on the cover.
Exactly.
So there's only one character on the cover. My character. Don't matter. And anyway, but yeah, I've been asking for Sakura since before 5 ever dropped. Like as soon as they announced that shit. As soon as I found out Karen was in the game, I'm like, all right, when Sakura. And then she ain't come out, and I was salty. But so that's why they get in a week.
It was the beginning of the end for you.
No, I mean Sakura. No, the beginning and end wasn't that. The beginning of the end was
midway through season
after
1.
I was basically halfway through season 1 when I was like, this game is actually really freaking stupid. Yep. And then I'm just like, this game is really stupid. And then when season 2 came out, they made the game even more stupid. So I was like, all right, I'm done because this game is trash. So what they would need to do, I was kind of joking when I said make Street Fighter 6, but they really would need, as far as balance and as far as how characters work and the whole nine, they would have to go back to the drawing board, because the most fun I've still had with Street Fighter 5 to this day has been the beta builds. Like the build that they showed off at Evo, Evo, what was that? Evo 2015? Yeah, I think 2015. But yeah, Evo 2015, and which was the beta that we got to play, where everybody was busted as fuck, and Ryu's freaking V-trigger lasted forever and had a charged fireball did 70% stun. Sure, it was busted, but that was actually cool and fun, and every character felt different. And every character had their tricks, and now it's just really bland and really basic and really just bad. Just sucks. Now y'all niggas suck ass. But yeah, so they had to go really back to the drawing board to make 5 better, and I'm pretty sure they didn't do that. And their animation team still sucks ass, and I think it actually got worse. Looking at Kami's air throw, and now Ryu's.
Oh my god!
I feel, and that's where I feel like I'm gonna be not as hypocritical as I thought I was gonna be when I said what I said when it comes to AE. But I feel like, how do I put this? I feel like the game could be better if they just actually gave a shit about how some stuff looks to us. If there was a sleeper agent in the crowd being like, wow, what do you think of this move? And they go, we think it's terrible, and they just completely scrap the move and start over, I feel like the game would just somewhat be better, 2% better. Who the fuck thought it was a good idea for Kami to do the animation of basically going down a stripper pole as an air grab? It looks pathetic. That's the word I can best describe it. It doesn't look fuck realistic, because this character is dead.
Like nothing's realistic, but
right? Yeah. And it's just there's certain things that they could have gone with this animation or that animation. Somebody put that idea into a meeting and approved it. It got approved for this bitch to spin in about a 1080p. I'm sorry, 1080 degree like circle. And then just
place your head right on the ground. Place your head on the ground after
giving her the simple animation of picking you up or grabbing you by your chest and throwing you down, which was her original grab animation, was too much. You decided, fuck that. We're gonna go with the animation where she spins in a fucking circle like she's having a seizure.
I mean, I would have liked the John from like Marvel.
I would have liked anything else, Holland.
Anything else would have been better. But I would have liked it like her grab out of Hooligan, where she like basically curls into a ball with you and then just stomps you into the ground. Mm-hmm. That would have been a great air throw. Like anything would have been better than that. But you got that. Now you got reused Jodan, where God, look like it. And basically, all of their development process seems to go more into costumes and cosmetic than the actual game.
I feel like everything they put into the game, into the special moves and Cammy's air throw, is how they feel about making the game any better. It's just they don't give a shit. If you like what it looks like, I'd rather a Capcom exec that's like high up there and has like the creative control of the game is just like fuck y'all. It would make me feel better that you actually don't care, because if they're trying,
sad.
Right, if they're actually trying, like, if this is the final product and they all put their heads together and this is what they came up with, we should all have jobs with Capcom just for free. Like, we'll fix the game for free. I can't look at it without getting disgusted. Like, there's certain moves that are just like, who the fuck thought that was a good idea in any sort of concept, hitbox, like, analysis, anything. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm ranting, but it's... Oh.
Yeah, you are.
It looks... Okay, it's my first time seeing that.
I'm leaning back in my chair, my hands in my pockets, because I'm just invested talking about it.
Okay, it's my first time seeing that air throw. That looks physically impossible, even for Street Fighter standards. Like,
regardless of how it looks, they could have used the other things that exist. I mean, there's copying and pasting. Stuff. There's copying and pasting, or there's just copying the wrong thing and putting it in and be like, whoops. Like, what?
Like, what are you doing?
Put some damn effort.
Oh no, baby, what are you doing?
But I don't know. Like, I don't like how neutral works. Like, what you can just
don't start that. Please don't start that.
All right, Trunks and Goten, calm down.
I don't like how
Trunks and Goten.
I don't like how the neutral works in that game. I don't like how basically the special moves are either extremely abusable or completely worthless. That's pretty much. The special moves in this game are either one of the two. And I don't like
anti-air jabs.
I don't like spam. Anti-air jabs is not a big problem. If they didn't make the majority of your legit anti-airs fucking crush counterable on punish, then anti-air jab wouldn't really be that big of a deal. But as it is, it's like, why risk assure you when I can just jab you, you flip out, and then I get a mix-up?
Nakali.
Yeah, why risk assure? Why risk doing assure you again when I can jab you and then dash, and then you gotta guess, and I get way more damage than if I had done a legitimate anti-air. The anti-air jab is something that has existed in a lot of Street Fighters before, but it just wasn't that powerful a tool because. No, it's not that it wasn't that easy. It wasn't as powerful a tool because actual anti-air special moves meant something, and you didn't get a mix-up in the half of your life by landing an anti-air jab. That generally wasn't a thing. Like, you wouldn't want a jab when you could do a crouch fierce or a Shoryuken instead. In this one, it's more like the jab is your optimal choice because if you fuck up the jab, you won't get punished that hard. But if you hit it, then you get a ton of damage anyway, and that's really stupid. Like, they don't seem to know how to nerf and buff characters at all. Like, now Rashid
buff
is... Buff
Urien, but nerf Fang.
Buff Urien, nerf Fang, buff Rashid until he's actually, like, AIDS on win. Like,
nerf Jury.
Nerf Jury when nobody plays her anyway. Like, okay.
That ain't nerf Jury.
Yeah, I don't get. That's another good point. I don't know if they're like even remotely. I feel like they just like I feel like the play testers at Capcom are the ones that make the changes. Like they just play casuals, mash on buttons, and they're like, "Oh, that sucks. Let's buff that. Oh, that's really good. Let's nerf that."
I think the guys who test the game are like the people who like did the testing for the arcade stream. They're like, "Yeah, I'm not getting V-trigger."
The ones who don't know how to play.
Yeah, the testers.
It makes you wonder. It makes you question the credibility of Capcom. Yeah, because I know for a fact Combo Fiend gets in depth with shit just because I know how he is back before he was
when he was a player.
When he was a player,
and he was very analytical when he was on commentary. He would find reasoning when there kind of wasn't one, where he'd be like, oh, maybe he meant to do this instead when he just did X Factor again in the round, and he would defend that and look at things from a certain viewpoint. So you got to respect that for a guy that's trying to look for like the unknown reasoning. So when he worked at Capcom, there was a big, like, I don't know, like a boost of confidence that, okay, yeah, everything's going to be
we thought this shit was going just, y'all have nowhere to go but up from Street Fighter 4, which is already a decent game. And then,
so I don't know if there's a
and then it all went to hell.
Right, and I don't know if there's a disconnect between Capcom USA and Capcom Japan, because
probably
I don't get it. Like,
I mean, I but all I'm going to say is they seem to make the game worse with every iteration, so I have zero faith. Street Fighter 5 is probably still going to suck after Arcade Edition. We're probably still not going to get a second player rematch because they didn't put it in Marvel. And they had years hearing people fucking bitch about that shit.
It's constantly. I feel like everything Capcom does, and this is going to sound horrible, anything they do, and I'm pretty sure B said this from the rip, like a couple months ago. It's basically saying like anything they do at this point is an apology for what they once was, what they once were in terms of a fighting game division, company, whatever you want to call it, conglomerate. I'll say that. Like anything they do now is an apology of what they used to be.
Everything that Capcom succeeded on has been an accident and an experiment.
Right.
I mean, yeah, but
like the fact that Street Fighter 2 took off, and the fact that people enjoyed how it plays, was an accident.
Yeah, it was. But, you think they would learn, though.
All of the franchises that they've spun off.
I'm saying every time he talks, he sounds like a Disney. I'm sorry, go ahead.
All of the franchises that they've spun off have basically been experiments where they tried to create a new game in a series, just trying to do the same thing all over again. Somebody was like, why don't we make it this way? And it happened to be good.
Oh, you mean like Devil May Cry?
Like Devil May Cry happened because somebody was like, hey, why don't we not make you move like a fucking tank in Resident Evil? And oh shit, it was a good game. What happened between Resident Evil 3 and 4? Oh, let's make you not move like a tank again. Oh shit, it was a good game. And then like every time they try to repeat the same old thing every time, they screw it up.
I mean, but that's the thing. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, why? You would think just making an iteration process where you're just making something that's like this but better. You think that would be an easier thing to do than coming up with some innovative or experimental crap and that actually turning out to be great. Like with 5, it really is more like, even though you can say that a lot of Capcom's franchises happen by accident, or basically a lot of their core game mechanics came about by accident, even though that's true, like you can also clearly see the decrease in like the amount of attention to detail and like general giving a shit that Capcom has done along the years.
That's because Street Fighter 5 was an experiment in making money, not in selling a game.
Not in making a game.
Street Fighter 5 was strictly an experiment in trying to turn a Capcom franchise into software as a service.
Right, into the whole service model, which would have been fine if you had focused on the game first, though.
There's been no fighting game I've seen so far that has successfully created a software as a service model. They can do the DLC model perfectly fine. They cannot do software as a service.
Dead or Alive did it, but nobody really cares about it. Nobody really cares about Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive hasn't done software as a service.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, they do.
Core Fighters. Dead or Alive 5 Core Fighters is kind of that software as a service kind of package.
It's not the same thing.
Not exactly, but it's like scratching the surface of that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, but Street Fighter 5 basically did the same thing. And I mean, like, even if it's temporarily well received, it doesn't last. Like, the whole point of software as a service is to keep it around.
Well, to keep it around, it had to be fun.
Or it has to be a good game first.
That's what they're not getting. Like
that's entirely the point. Like, and this is actually a trend, like a really big one that a lot of people should be following very closely in the gaming industry right now, because like a lot of companies are trying to get into it this way, and literally individual decisions on how they decide to build the framework of these games can screw them for years.
Yeah. Like
the only companies that's been successful.
But you broke up like a lot. What'd you say?
I said the only like few companies been successful, and that's like Rocket League and Riot.
That's not true at all. There's like tons of software as a service games that have existed for
like mostly MOBAs, Rocket League, Overwatch.
Those are the ones you know.
That's not true at all. Overwatch isn't software as a service.
Overwatch isn't software as a service, by the way.
Oh, like Overwatch is a buy-in game with loot boxes, like loot box cosmetics. That's the furthest thing from software as a service.
Yeah, my fault.
Like, I mean, it's a competitive game. Yes, Overwatch is doing fantastic, and I mean that's just Blizzard in general. Like, it's a lower cost to buy in for a AAA game versus anything else that exists on the market. Every Blizzard game that comes out is usually $40. Usually there's a limited edition or something you can buy for a $60 price, which is usually what they push on people. And I think that happened with Diablo 3. I know they sold the Origin edition of Overwatch for $60.
Yeah.
But software as a service generally for games follows either a very low cost buy-in or the game starts out as free.
Free.
Like,
so basically like Tekken Revolution.
Similar to that, yes.
Yeah.
Where like you start out with parts of the game and then you can unlock more of it, or you can just like toss money at it and have the entire thing.
Yeah, that one basically it gave you all the characters, and it's like, but you can only play online like 5 times a day per time period, and then you can either buy tokens to keep playing or just wait for the time to go back up. So you get.
I think that more than so than software as a service, that was kind of like a virtual arcade machine.
That sounds like that.
That was a really weird experiment. Like, I liked it, but like I think it didn't hit the right stride that they were looking for.
It didn't. That shit was weird. I got annoyed.
Like, they probably would have done better off limiting your character selection or like outright, and then allowing you to unlock the characters with some sort of like virtual currency.
It was like half the cast, fucking
right?
Like half the main cast. It was like, damn, this is a lot of people.
But like, I think they would have done better, like flipping the script a little bit on that one. But like, a lot of the games that I cover for my channel are software as a service. Even Fortnite, which isn't even in full release, is basically going to follow the same model. And like, man, those ideas are not completely thought out when they initially put them into a game. Like when I say not thought out, I mean it's like, this looks like a bad fucking idea until the game.
They do it anyway.
Like you can tell that like everything that they've designed around the game looks like, oh, everybody in your finance department was like, this is a good idea, and then you had to turn it into a game.
Oh,
like, I don't even understand how like some of these systems actually get implemented, because a lot of them don't actually start out that way, or I should say start out as money grubbing as they appear to be on the surface. I mean, I understand that like anybody developing a product basically wants to make money off of it. Battlefront 2 was worse. Like, because Battlefront 2 was not software as a service. It was, again, a full-priced game that they locked content behind a paywall.
Yep.
And that paywall was ridiculous. Like, that was just EA being greedy. And the thing about a software as a service model is like, you literally need to capture your audience first. Like, if people are not interested in your game, why are they throwing money at it? Like, because nobody's going to continue throwing money at your game just because of your name. Like, they have to want to come back.
All right, and at that point, how about this? I actually think Arcade Edition might fail.
Open.
I actually think that Arcade Edition is gonna fail.
If it's the same fucking game, then yeah, it is.
No, and here's why. Even if it's a better game, because just like Brian said, with you having to, with people having to be interested in the game first, and if they're not going to throw money at it. I think the initial Street Fighter 5 might have turned a whole lot of people off. And at that point, you know, people aren't interested in. A lot of people aren't interested in Street Fighter 5. A lot of people are actually quitting the game already. So what they're going to, so are people actually going to buy Arcade Edition and throw more money at it to get what might be a better game or a more complete game?
So we got a more exciting game waiting in the wings.
Because I haven't followed this as closely as I could have because of like some of the other stuff I've been doing recently. Like, I understand that the premise that Street Fighter V was released under was that the updates to the game would come at no charge, and then you could use fight money for like the characters and costumes and everything.
Essentially, League of Legends. Is what
I mean, the League of Legends is the software as a service model. If you're unaware, it's actually the most successful one thus far. But like, there are other ones that don't follow the exact same model, like Warframe, and Warframe is like stupidly successful. That's why they got bought by like a large Chinese firm.
It's pretty good.
Warframe is good, yeah.
It's something you can jump in at any time and be overwhelmed, but in a good way, in my opinion.
Right, like Warframe is just a game where literally they're throwing content at it every couple of weeks, and it's just like, oh look, a new weapon that behaves completely differently than anything else I've seen in the game before. Oh look, a random single story quest. Well, if you only add like 6 of those a year, and your game has been out for 5 to 7 years, you have a ton of extra content that didn't exist before. And like the Warframe team isn't doing just like 1 or 2 quests. They're like, here's a new planet. So like they do a lot of really interesting stuff. The story and artwork that they put into the game is like super nice. And like in general, like Warframe is one of those. Warframe is actually a game that I followed since it was like in closed beta. Yeah, and that John, the game went from like clay figures to like one of the best looking games on PC right now. And it started out as a PS4 launch title. Like, there was just so many things that they did right with Warframe that I'm surprised that other companies that are trying to do similar things have not paid attention to it. Like, their monetization model is like one of... Huh?
Nothing.
Yeah,
I despise Destiny. I don't want to get too much. I don't want to get too much off topic.
Well, all right, look. As far as Destiny goes, Destiny literally could have ripped Warframe's model directly and been okay. But like, they did the worst possible thing.
They were trash.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they basically cloned Halo in slow motion.
Yeah.
Look, man, Destiny trash.
Yeah,
Bungie done lost it.
They literally cloned Halo in slow motion. I'm like, why would you make Halo in slow motion and then add loot boxes?
Yeah, man, to go off of what you're saying, it feels like a changing in the guard of a bad way. Because with Bungie, I loved Bungie, like Xbox, Halo, that was my shit, and now it's just like, oh, because other companies get involved, and then their business model completely changed to, like you said, something they could have ripped, or something they could have replicated and done slightly differently or properly, right? So it's like, it's weird, and it relates to Capcom because even before my time, there was times where I enjoyed Capcom games just because they were good. Not because they were fun or because other people played them, it's because they were actually good, well-built games, right? So it's like, now it's their business model and the way they're doing things is so, like, it just feels synthetic.
It's because, like, alright, if you, like, the thing about game companies is that generally as they grow, they attempt to continue to spur their growth forward. Like, they are businesses, and so, like in any good business, they want profits. The problem with that is, as far as most companies are concerned, profit is magically infinite, and as long as they make a good product, they should get all the money in the world.
Yeah.
Like, there are some companies that will try to project what their earnings will be based on, like, previous sales, but at the same time, like, I'm not sure if they... Like, one of the things that's nearly impossible to quantify is human sentiment. And if you don't know how well received something has been in the past, it's hard to really keep that going. Now, I will honestly say that the smartest thing that Capcom is doing is pulling forward all of the retro packages for all of their old software, their old games, and porting it to updated hardware. Like the 30th anniversary collection? The 30th anniversary collection for Street Fighter is probably one of the smartest things they could do. Like, honestly, I think that that's something that they need to maintain going forward. just because, like, if as long as you create an outlet for those games, if they continue to make sales, like as long as it's not a super huge effort for you to move those things forward onto a new console or platform,
lazy go for the cash grab.
But like those are the cash grabs that you know are there. Like literally, if people are still playing the game, if there's a fan base for it, if people will throw money at it, go ahead and do it. Like that's the kind of stuff I can't fault any company for. Like if somebody likes popsicles and you stop making popsicles and popsicles made you $1 billion a year, you are stupid.
Yeah, why would you stop?
That said, newer products are always considered experimental. Like you can go off the hype that previous generations or previous iterations have generated, but when you do something new, expect new results.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, but yeah, but like while we were saying, we were talking about friggin' Arcade Edition and how like with what you were saying with how. Basically, you have to grab the customer at the beginning. Yeah, you have to grab their attention at the beginning. That's why I'm thinking that even if Arcade Edition is good, it still might fucking fail.
So
that has nothing to do with Dragon Ball. Just
quick question: Street Fighter V, can you upgrade that to Arcade Edition without having to purchase a new copy of the game?
Yes,
correct.
So is it going to be free or will it cost fight money?
The upgrade itself, like the rebalance,
free update. Everything is free except the characters.
Okay, yeah, so the new characters that are being added, you have to purchase, which is what they promised, which is perfectly fine. All the new V-Triggers, from what I've read so far, it looks like if you have the original game, you get all the original V-Triggers. If you purchase Arcade Edition, you only get the new V-Triggers and you have to purchase the old ones.
No.
No,
you get no. The update
is which one you want to use.
The update is going to come up with the extra V triggers, the balance update, everything. It's like so you're going to have for all the characters that you own, you'll be upgraded to the Arcade Edition version of the characters. But I'm just thinking that it might be too little, too late at this point as far as consumer interest is concerned.
Well, I won't say that just because like Street Fighter 3 had a really rocky start up until they got the Third Strike, and even after Third Strike
that still isn't commercially. The Third Strike still wasn't commercially like
a
successful.
Yes,
at all.
No,
it took the Daigo parry to get that to basically get Third Strike to take off. And the problem with 5 is that it's so basic that
it's the opposite of 3. Instead of being like very complex. And adding like a lot of layers.
And you got something to like break through a shell of like figuring out what to do.
You got
Street Fighter 5 is like, you got a crush counter, you win.
Street Fighter 5 is you got meta spamming sweep at safe ranges and then just spamming freaking strong buffering it in the bullhead.
Okay, wait, we can work with that. So how do you feel about Mena's performance and what it means for Arcade Edition? Because he said on Twitter a couple days ago that was just a secondary.
Well, that makes sense because ultimately I think that the way the game is built, and this is again ties back to my problems with the game, but the way the game is built, the game is too simplistic. Neutral is absolutely trash, and there's some stuff. There's always basically like 1 or 2 things that are extremely abusable in the entire game system with how they have it set up. And they've done that basically in every season. There's just been 1 or 2 things that end up being really freaking abusable and not that difficult to execute on either. So shout out, props to Mena. I give him all the credit in the world for basically finding an easily abusable, easily profitable thing and just running it, and it works, and you can beat the best players in the world because the game's not built to be more complex than that.
God damn right, it's profitable.
If I can win by just basically spamming a 50-50 situation where I spam a button and then buffer that into something else, but if I guess right, I take half your life. If you guess right, you take 10%. Who's gonna win that?
All right.
Like, so, people can talk about Mena turning his brain off or whatever, but this is the kind of game where if you find a situation where you can win by turning your brain off, you're the smartest person in the room.
That's a damn shame that's true. I would rather have the mental exhaustion of playing my best and winning for it than just sweep full screen crush counter.
That
That's what it looked like to me. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be biased, but I know for a fact Taquito's a smarter player than Mana.
I mean, and not even about being a smarter player. Taquito does more.
Yeah, and got less for it. That's
the problem.
So pretty much, you guys are stating that the overall system of the game needs to be rehauled or overhauled, I should say.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not going to get overhauled unless they release a newer version.
Yeah, that's also true. Like a Apology Edition 2019.
No, they just add Ultra or Super.
No, they might just, yeah.
I think, like I said,
because you still don't have a Super Street Fighter 5. So Arcade Edition is the update to Street Fighter 5. We still got a Super and an Ultra sitting around there somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Guess.
Which will still make them money.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think Street Fighter 5 has been that profitable for them. Really.
Personally, I think they should have just released. Personally, I think when they revealed all those characters should have been released. Well, should be released on the 16th. I think it would have been the best move for them.
Wait, what did you say, Rift? I'm sorry.
Personally, when they announced all the characters back at Capcom Cup, I think they should have said all those characters will be available on the 16th.
I agree.
I mean, that would be nice, but that's not realistic.
What do you mean it's not realistic?
What you mean it's not realistic? You think they're done working on them all already?
I think so. Wait,
I think so.
There was an NDA for Balrog. Balrog was done 8 months before he was even a trailer was even out.
Right, but that's not necessarily.
We don't know how far along they're done with the characters.
We don't. So that's why I'm saying this whole the whole seasonal release or them basically giving themselves development time to develop the characters and then release them. Like, we're going to focus on Sakura first, and then we're going to focus on this character.
Which is why I think they should change the development cycle.
Is that better? That's better. That's a lot. That gives them a lot more time to actually get the characters right, or as right as they've been getting the characters, which isn't even that freaking great.
Well, then that comes down to quality control.
But still, it allows them to have better quality control on each character than saying we're going to basically rush all these characters out on July 16th.
But we don't know if they're rushed, dude.
Yeah,
I get
because
what you're saying.
we will be, though.
We look at the way Balrog plays. We look at the way Balrog plays, and you see that bullshit.
Oh, but that's another thing. We don't know anything yet. It's not January. We don't know what we're getting in terms of balance changes, right? Because some characters, the system may completely change in terms of how much meter you get. Some crush counters may not work the same. Some buttons in the system may change. So, like you said, remember you were talking about how they should make crush counter normals heavily punishable and blocked? They may actually listen to your ass and put it in.
They might have done that shit, but I don't think.
But I was saying, as far as development cycle goes, instead of you bringing out 6 characters per year, staggered through the year, bring it out for the season. So each Capcom Cup starts at March, right?
So all the characters are available in the season.
The Pro Tour?
Yeah. The Pro Tour starts. All the characters should be available at the start of the season.
So Kenny, let me ask you this: do you think they would be able to, for League of Legends, right, the successful version of this fucking model? Do you think they would be able to bring out all the champs that they're going to release for the year in the beginning of the year?
If they were on similar engines, absolutely not. But it's a completely different spectrum because we don't know how long they were working on fucking Geese. Because I'm talking about the Unreal Engine and how it pertains to that. And I know it's an intense engine, and I know it takes a long ass time. So yes, in that aspect, I do agree with you. Is that if they came out all at the same time, it'd be a fucking massacre. But what I'm saying is we don't know the timetable of what characters are done. Like Cody, I'm sorry, it's gonna sound biased, but Sakura through Cody could be done, 100% done. Probably OP damage for whatever character or not enough damage, and we don't know. But if they sprinkle them out along the cycle, yes, that is a safer way. Yeah, I'm the one is what they want to go the apology route and make everyone happy, bring everybody on the 16th. But that's not what Capcom's going to do.
Yeah, it's not. That's not what they're going to do. And my point is just that that's probably they might not even be able to do that, depending on how far along the characters are. We don't know. But if they're giving themselves a year-long development cycle like this League of Legends model, then it's not very feasible to say that, we're going to bring out all 6 characters at the same time, because they're probably working on them one at a time.
One at a time? That's like giving yourself 2 months per character. Or a month and a half.
Well, no, or rather, not even one at a time, but like have it staggered. Because like League of Legends does, they have certain teams working on characters, and they come out and they have like staggered development cycles. So a character comes out every few months, and then they go back in working on the next character for like another 6 months or some shit. So yeah, but whatever. Would it be nice? Yes. Is it realistic? No. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I understand that. You're from like a business, like realistic perspective, and I think it's good that you think that way, because I kind of knew the minute you asked me that you were going to bring up the League of Legends model. But it's what they're doing is safe. They announce what's in the plans, and we get it 4 to 5 months later instead of 2018, everybody. You know what I mean? So,
well, I have to ask this question over the course of a year.
That's what both of the other games that I've been following do. Like Warframe actually announces all of their stuff before it's done. Mm-hmm. Like if they're doing new graphical updates, they will show you the stuff in the works, or tell you about it, or give you a screenshot and like a developer update where they literally just have like studio heads sit around, talk about the changes, show you what's going to happen, and then once it's ready, they'll show it to you live.
Yeah, Riot does the exact same.
Riot, like a lot of companies do that.
Yeah, Riot essentially does the exact same thing. I don't know if you follow League that heavy, but every like couple months there's a Riot Please video, and I think he's the creative director, or the writing director, whatever. He just sits down and says, "This is what's coming. This is what it looks like. This is early," and they give like an update on the forum saying, "Hey, this is what we changed. This is what it's gonna look like. This is what it's called, and this is how it's gonna function, and why it's been so long to they're very transparent in what's coming and what they're fixing and taking out or whatever."
But that's also been a problem with Capcom in general. They have not been transparent.
Yeah, it's just Capcom is kind of like, sorry,
you get it when you get it. Here's a new trailer. You get it when you get it.
You know what? All of the companies that I've seen actually do that stuff have been Western, except for Riot, and I only don't consider Riot Entertainment Western because they're owned by Tencent, but most of the other developers,
they're Western too, really.
Yeah, so they're
more Western based than anything else.
All of the developers that actually do that I know of have been bought by Chinese companies. Now, I'm not saying the Chinese companies are the reason that they do it. I'm saying that their success was warranted enough to have them being bought by a large conglomerate.
Yeah. China taking over.
China been taking over. China owns League. China owns Warframe. And China owns Robot Entertainment too.
Yeah, it's kind of obvious too, because the World was held in China, and all there are 4 major. I want to say
4 major countries, and
there's
areas.
Areas. I don't want to put it. Yeah, that's why I was just waiting for someone else to say.
Because Europe is like because with Europe it goes all around Europe.
Yeah, it was Shanghai, not Longzhou.
Shanghai, something else.
Yeah, but regardless, it was just it's obvious that partnership with Tencent is what made that so successful, because apparently China was like, we want them back for Worlds 2018, but in different parts of China that aren't the same 4.
Right.
I don't know if they're going to get it though. I think it's already set up for Korea next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's certain talks in the way. It might be nothing's finalized until we know. You know what I mean?
Right.
So. I think Korea would be even better, but
I heard about it being in Korea next year, and then they might bring it back to, because they cycle the areas, NA, EU, China, Korea.
Yeah,
and it gets
Yeah, I think when they go to Japan, I think that's going to be incredible.
Man, I don't think that's going to happen for a while though.
I know. But that's 2 years from now. We never know. For me, it's in conclusion. I don't know if anybody wants to send it off with AE, but for me, it's just, I guess, like, just hope that they will eventually get better, and they just might not. But I have my character back.
You got faith?
Give me some time. I have a small amount of faith.
Okay, well, I'm gonna shut this shit down right now.
I ain't got no faith.
Street Fighter 5 is ass. Capcom is ass.
Until proven otherwise?
Philly FGC is trash. Coach,
so proven otherwise?
Oh. Yep. Coach, you ass too. And this dude who just came into the Discord, he ass too. And he What's up, Ivan?
Yo, I'm lit as fuck. What are you talking?
No, you lit.
I came to say
But
hello.
your food choice is ass. What's up, Ivan?
True.
Nigga, I just came to say hi.
What's up, man?
Hey,
got nothing but
I
love
don't
for
want
you.
no damn problem.
real quick, Ivan, why Philly FGC ass? 2 words, go.
Right, that was one. What's your other word?
I don't think I should say the other word.
What?
You should definitely say the other word.
You should say the other word.
What's the other
word?
Mike,
no. No, not that word.
What?
Arg.
What?
Niggas.
Oh.
With the R, yeah, that.
Oh, sick.
We on YouTube, stop.
I mean, they're pretty ignorant.
I can't disagree. And it's sad that I can't.
It's bad.
So what else we talking about, or is this a wrap?
Yeah, your favorite fighting game ass. Dragon Ball Z come out in a month. I beat all y'all ass. Bye.
Do we want to talk about Dragon Ball Z before we?
We already talked about it.
Oh. Man,
I wasn't here, so.
I feel like anime fighting.
Alright, so is that concluded?
Yeah.
Man, whatever. We were supposed to be ran, but then B came in and did all the whole politics shit, and we like.
I'm telling you, yo, he's that statue from the Legends of Hidden Temple.
Yo,
he talks
tripping.
And it's not an insult. I think B is cool as shit. The minute he starts talking, I'm just like, whoa, like.
But yeah, the whole like freaking, the whole atmosphere changed. We were supposed to be in here talking shit, talking about stuff, coming at necks, chopping off fucking heads.
Oh, we still got some room for that.
No, we don't. We've been talking for a long ass time.
Do you feel like
about an hour and 20 minutes?
I have a question.
Wait, Lamar had a thought. Go ahead.
So, what was the highest entered game in NEC?
What was the highest entered game in NEC?
Hold on.
Street Fighter.
Give me the top 3.
Oh, Street Fighter, Marvel,
Marvel, and Tekken.
Street Fighter, Marvel, and Tekken. Do you ever think, like, if AE fails, do you think that we're gonna start seeing a bigger boom in anime fighters?
Hold on. Wait, for anyone jumps on that. There's been interest from multiple communities for Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yeah.
Well, look. We're not talking. Hold. That's one thing. You can't talk about Dragon Ball as if it falls into the same vein as anime fighters. And I know Giuliano was listening. I don't know if he's still listening, but
still is.
Yeah, but like. When Giuliano made that post on Facebook talking about some, we remember you people saying anime fighters and shit and all that shit. Like, I don't know if Giuliano even recognizes the fact that people aren't even looking at this Dragon Ball game as an anime fighter.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like Marvel is technically an anime fighter. Like, with the way it plays and the way it behaves and everything. It's basically an anime fighter.
To be more specific, he did say Arxis haters.
Well, yeah, Arxis haters, but even with Arxis haters, like, even with it being an Arxis game, people aren't looking at that. Like, people are just looking at, oh, look, I can shoot, I can...
Exactly. They're looking at it from,
like... I can play as Goku, I can play as Vegeta.
Like,
yeah, they're looking at it from the most mainstream perspective I've ever seen.
Yeah, all the mainstream players are just going to be like, hey, it's Goku and Vegeta, and freaking Beerus is in there, and this is lit. And
got hit in there.
But that's what that's why I'm gonna pull out the reality stone and be like, those people are gonna get fucking mauled from the people that have an anime style of playing.
Strip. Yep. And like even though, that's not to say that the Street Fighter. Honestly, the game plays more similarly to Marvel 3.
Yes, it does.
Really?
So yeah, I think the Marvel 3 players are probably going to wreck shop more than everybody. Or the Skullgirls players, shout out to Sonic 5.
Yeah.
I hate to sound like the evil guy because I think the game looks incredible. And once I saw my man Hit, who I was asking for before anybody,
yes, you were.
What if the game is fucking terrible?
Well,
Holland's heart would break. He'd be on suicide watch for a little bit.
Not even. But like, I can't even say that because it's hard for me to speak in that kind of hypothetical because From what I've played of the game, like I played a decent amount of
okay, since you played it, you're kind of like you're digging it.
Yeah, I played it, and I'm like, this is funny shit. So, like,
remember, the beta version of fucking 5 was fun as shit too.
Yeah,
right. But
one more question.
Go ahead.
Wait, go ahead, Ivan. Go ahead.
I want to vouch for the anime community coming from it. I feel like it's gonna play a bit like Arcana Heart, and I'm scared for that.
Huh?
Because of the rush button or whatever, like you can go straight to them. Oh, okay.
Oh, that yeah.
And the problem is, Arcana Heart was not fun because of the rush. Well, for me, I'll say. Now, it seems like a really small ass complaint, but if you've played the game for
which one are you talking about? Which Arcana?
All of them.
Man, Arcana Heart 1 was my shit. Arcana, I like 2 too.
I'm a fan of
2. Man, my Petra was.
But I'm scared of the game being like
just
that.
Coming around that, yeah.
The thing is, it won't in like full detail. But the rush button is the scariest part because I mean the rush button in Arcana, that shit. I mean, it's unsafe, but it's scary.
Well, here's the thing about the rush in Arcana. The rush in Arcana, you could use that like off of a guard cancel, and you could use that like in a bunch of different situations. Basically, to home and extend your combos with Dragon Ball. With how it is in Dragon Ball FighterZ, it's a lot easier to like basically. It's a lot easier to shut down, and it's a lot easier to punish than it was in Arcana. Like Arcana, it was actually kind of difficult to punish, even though like it was punishable. In Dragon Ball FighterZ, all you really got to do is mash launch. And if somebody's dashing on you, then they'll just get launched every time.
Do you think they'll change the properties on that?
Probably not. From what I've seen from the like close to final build, it looks like it still works the same way.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I think there's a system in place where if you rush at the same time, you guys reset the neutral. Because players hard tagged at the same time, and they just like clashed and then backed up back to like almost like ready fight position.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think there is systems in place that you probably didn't see. I'm glad you actually brought that up because I saw the I don't know if it's called the homing attack, I guess, or rush attack, whatever you want to call it. When I saw that, I'm just like, that's gonna be fucking annoying. But if you do it back, they just put it's almost like a push block where it's just like just go away for a second.
You can also reflect it. Like everybody has back and key blast for like a reflect, which can reflect key blasts and regular attacks. Yep, and it can also reflect the dragon dash or whatever the hell they want to call it. And
they also get pretty unique with it because hit can like go transparent and do like a time skip and just absorb, like not absorb, but just ignore your fireball when it goes through.
Even through everything.
Yeah, and he has a parry, so you can like wait for him to rush and parry that shit, and you get a full combo off of it.
Yep.
So there are certain mechanics in place that are like, okay, they paid attention to the fact that, you know,
the rush was going to be freaking stupid.
Yeah, because I know I forgot the chick's name, and she might be the savior of fighting games, but I'm pretty sure she works very closely with Harada when it comes to like how a fighting game works.
But yeah, I do know that shit's mad punishable. Just mash lunch, and you will knock them right out of their dragon dash thing.
Do you think
if you want to use that, you want to cover it with assist or something else to actually make it, you know, harder to just knock you right out of it? I think of the whole your typical instant air dash thing is probably going to be a lot better and a lot. That's probably going to be like your main way of getting in and like putting on pressure. What else can I say about Dragon Dash? It's probably not going to be nearly as good as you think it's going to be. It's probably going to be scrub tactic. Everybody going to get hit with Dragon Dash day one until they learn how to punish it.
Well, that answers everything. Good, thanks.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing something?
Yeah, podcast. What's up?
Oh.
Yeah, welcome. The same thing happened to me. I walked in, they were like, "You were doing a podcast, by the way." I'm like, "Oh, well, I don't want that shit then."
Well, make sure you guys follow my SoundCloud.
But no, it's like I feel him. Like being doubtful of the game's mechanics is just me being fair. Like regardless of me being a character, because I had a feeling like Goku Black and Hit or whatever were in. It's good to see them in, and it's good to see the character, but I haven't played it yet, and I'm almost always gonna be over Holland's house for that fucking beta because I want to play it.
So there's another beta on top of
yes, the 13th.
13th, yeah.
Yeah, the 13th.
And that's on. Is that a beta for only people?
It's an open beta though, so you can get it.
Yeah, you can
13th if you pre-order, 14th for everybody.
No, I'm just saying, like, if they have like a PvP setting, I want to play.
Oh yeah,
so,
but the game coming out, June 30th, 2018.
It's not coming out June 30th. Stop saying that. Like I said, you get no take, Riff.
I'm about to post this picture real quick. I got the sauce.
I'm not playing with you until June 30th. Okay, that's when we can play Dragon Ball FighterZ. Until then, you are on your own, and I'm just going.
He's the host. He's the host with the most, but he's also got the most losses because he's a Cowboys fan. So he's upset everybody, and I apologize, and he has to hold that for a while.
Oh, that's cold-blooded, Kitty.
You being cold-blooded right now. You ain't gonna cast shade like that.
I mean, I'm just saying. I got the pictures.
There's throwing shade, and then there's throwing a tree. There's a difference in the amount of shade.
Okay, hold on.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to start throwing trees. How do I do that?
You play Dragon Ball FighterZ, which comes out the 26th. Yeah.
Yup. Not to
get your advertise your ass
by Namco Bandai. Yo, like that. Did you see some of the videos they posted? Like, it's like essentially watching an anime.
Here we go, stream. This is what I'm talking about.
The video, Ivan?
I did not.
Okay, there's a video.
That's what you talking about.
Like they have like I don't know what it's called. I think it's like dramatic battles where they if it's certain circumstances are met in terms of what the character order is, they'll play cutscene the way it happened in the anime. So if you have if you have Point Goku versus Point Frieza, it does the whole him getting Super Saiyan for the first time and Krillin getting bodied thing.
Tell me about that
thing. And then if you're on Destroyed Planet Namek and you're, I think it may have something to do with the stages as well. But basically,
it's the stage too.
You can reenact the scene where Goku kills Frieza on Namek.
Yeah.
If those two are your last characters, it's dope. There's a whole lot of just little touches that I'm just like, I don't think this game. I really don't know how this game could be bad. Like, we might figure out the meta for it, and then there might be some trash shit with that. But I know I'm gonna have fun playing it like the entire time. So I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I think tournaments are gonna be like Evo levels of hype every time because there's a lot of people that don't necessarily play fighting games or just spectate. Because there are people at NEC that just showed up to sit down and watch that are gonna go nuts when they see Beerus destroy Zamasu or
like freaking Beerus Hakai.
And like. You know, remember how in Street Fighter 4 when every time like Ricky or Justin did like
everybody raised the roof?
Yeah, everybody's gonna hold up one hand and be like Hakai, like shit like that. I'm hyped for just the concept of getting hyped for something that everybody can enjoy. I think Evo is gonna do fucking gangbusters Sunday at the convention center that they hosted in for the finals.
Oh yeah, for the first
Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball for it.
Yeah,
speaking of which, all y'all better come. Stop being some bum asses.
I'm sorry, but 2018 is looking like the year for fighting games, and every year I'm gonna say that because every year there's something to look for.
Yeah, 2017.
Man, it's my year for fighting games because
like it was 2000.
That's good because 2017 was the year of Tekken. I am sorry.
2017.
Oh yeah, it was definitely Tekken.
I'm a Capcom guy at heart, but once they showed Geese Howard, I'm like, I just might be in there.
And that nigga was amazing.
It gave me a reason to want to play the game even more than I already did.
It was great. It really was.
I got Cody, I got Geese, I got Hit. I'm chilling.
On the Tekken side, it's so cool because it was like hearing that your game is my game is the second most popular game in Philly consistently. I'm like, damn, that's fucking crazy. Seriously? Like, yeah. And then just to continuously see that shit isn't just like 1 or 2 months. It's like, yeah, almost all of August niggas are still playing this shit. Almost all the summer, almost all the fall, like, niggas are still running that shit. That shit was great to hear. And it was just a good game all around. It's a good fucking game.
Yeah. I mean, Tekken is
I can't wait. And I think next year's gonna be fucking Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball looks great. Or even I'm gonna play. That shit looks fantastic.
All I know is that there's gonna be a whole lot of hype ass people for this Dragon Ball game, except for them bum ass motherfuckers who think that it should play like Xenoverse are mad because people don't transform mid-match or some other bullshit that don't know what the hell they're talking about.
My only gripe with the game is I can't play Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Nah, you gotta do Goku level.
That's my only gripe.
My only gripe is I want to get Gurkle. I want to get like Goku.
But once again, we don't know.
Go play Budokai 3 if I play
But wait a minute, we don't know what's going to happen in terms of how forms are used, because there could be a dramatic event where like Big Boo is fighting Goku and he goes Super Saiyan 3 just because he knows he can't
just has all the same moves and just
have Super
Saiyan 3.
Yeah, so you never know.
I wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying? Huh?
I wouldn't be able to do. I mean,
your beanie would feel it from at your boss. Your beanie would be like, oh.
But no, and then his level 3, he didn't even transform. He just stayed Super Saiyan 3.
Exactly.
That would be cool.
That would be hot though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's certain things like, because I remember these are the same guys that people feel about however they feel about the game at a competitive level. But in terms of like presentation for the Naruto Ninja Storm games, it's the same company. So they did like dramatic events, like if certain people did.
It's not the same developer.
They don't make.
But it's through Namco Bandai, so the idea is still the same.
Yeah.
I guess. That. But yeah, they did it. They did that shit. Like, did you see they added battle damage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that's dope.
Yeah.
I hope it gets to a point where you can like where Goku the top half of Goku Geek could get ripped off or something.
I'm about to say, but then at that point everybody lose. Like, top half is gone.
But I feel like that's what's going to happen is the more, because I'm pretty sure they're going by like the Japanese pacing of things in terms of where.
Ivan, you shut up.
Yo,
what did I do?
Nothing. Just ignore that. So when you see,
I've been waiting to talk.
When the DLC comes out, there's going to be more dramatic events. I'm pretty sure they're going to add other stuff. They might change the engine. We don't know what's going to happen, but it is the most exciting fighting game of 2018 by far, in my opinion.
I think his name boy.
Like, I literally don't say shit ever to anybody.
Like, Joey, I heard we can hear what you're saying.
And niggas is always every time, no matter what. I could sit down and I'll literally be playing at a tournament by myself at the arcade. First nigga that runs up to me is Holland. I'm minding my own fucking business. His brother runs up, Ivan, you suck. I didn't do anything to you. You can literally, like, you can take a fucking picture. This is every tournament. I have my drink next to me. I'm playing by myself.
You being a good boy?
I'm just enjoying my time alone, and you niggas just ruin it.
Wait, we ruin it
every time.
I find that funny because I've seen it. It's funny.
And the fact that you ruin it is because you're not sitting down there and play. You're just talking shit. I don't care about.
I play you every time, Ivan.
You actually do. Your brother though, that nigga always. Oh no, okay.
He just talk trash.
He's talking shit.
You falling for the trap because he does the same thing in the Rift, so you're not alone.
Here's the thing, Ivan, man. It's just the low kid got problems, man. It's just how he showed you they like it.
You don't have problems. You just told him.
Huh?
Yeah, all you do is Ivan just beat him bad one good time.
Yo, could you imagine Goku going Ultra Instinct after hitting a certain health?
No talking. Ew, what?
After being one pixel for 10 seconds.
That'd be a different Goku. Watch that be like normal.
That'd be normal.
Goku.
See? Now you think
DLC Goku, he transform at different stages, and then if you get like 7 bars and low health, he just
if you hold back, he blocks he dodges everything, but it takes meter or something like that. Oh my god!
Oh my god! That'd be
good. So much. That would be OD.
If they were gonna do that, it would basically be Goku with a death sequence like the Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, that's like Super
Mario.
Mario.
That's what I'm saying. Like after he hits a certain amount of health, he just goes, "I can't take this anymore," and he goes Ultra Instinct.
No, you would need a full super bar. And
then die.
They would give you like a portion of your health bar back, and you'd be like hyper until that super bar drains. And then after that's it, you lose your energy and you back to regular Goku.
That'd be sick, actually.
I'm saying like that would be a balanced way to make it work without making Goku a character with trash stats beforehand just because that's possible.
But then it also goes 4 Gokus.
So
no, it's the same Goku.
No, but he's talking about how that would be like Gokus. that. Yeah, people would complain.
Yeah, people would complain about it. I wouldn't care only because like this Goku would have to have less health. Like this is like fragile but deadly Goku.
Yeah,
like, he has less health.
Every Goku is different, plays differently.
Yeah, that's the big
Goku.
thing.
I think Goku Black is more utility based because he has Zamasu helping him, so he might be more weaker because he doesn't know how to use Goku's body to the fullest extent. So he might have less health or whatever.
He's not even the same character technically.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's different shit that involves with all the Gokus. Like,
I'm giving it the name that other people gave it. They gave it Team Goku. That's the name they gave it.
Goku Black, Goku Black, Super Saiyan Blue Goku.
I feel like Goku Black's gonna play the most different to the point it's not even Goku.
Well, he does. He does. If you watch it, he does. He plays more different than any of the others. Than the other 2 Gokus. The other 2 Gokus plays like somewhat similar, but Goku Black plays a bit different.
Alright, I'm going to bed. I'll catch you guys.
Alright, Ivan, good talking to you, man.
Yeah.
Alright, see you, brother.
Yeah, I feel like this game is gonna be fantastic, and I feel like it's gonna hold people just because how shaky Marvel is and how no one really wants to play Street Fighter. I feel like
it's the new Marvel, yo. Cause
I feel like the old Marvel boys are gonna eat this shit up. Like Coach said it himself in the group during FGC. Like, who's picking this up and holding on to it? Because I'm doing this shit full time, and a lot of them New York boys said they're doing this shit full time.
I mean, yeah. Like, here's the thing. It's Marvel 3. It's an ArcSys version of Marvel 3.
It deserves more credit than that, I feel like.
Oh. Well, no, I mean, that's where the ArcSys version comes in. Like, Capcom just fucks they shit up. ArcSys is like basically saying, let's take.
When does Namco Bandai let you down though? Like, it sounds like you have PTSD. like
when does Namco Bandai let me down?
Tekken 4.
A couple times.
Tekken 4, yeah, there you go. That's the realest shit ever.
I mean,
B, don't say nothing. Recently, when has Namco Bandai let you down?
Tekken 6.
Oh my fucking god.
What's that? Soul Calibur 5. What are you talking about?
There you go. Soul Calibur 5. There you go.
We can't get hype about that game, okay?
Soul Calibur 5. They let us down.
Are we going to talk about that shit?
Soul Calibur 3 was probably the biggest letdown because they came off of the hype of 2. And then, it kind of dwindled from there going forward.
But it was like they just kept reaching new lows, though. Like, Soul Calibur 3 was like, hey, this isn't as good as 2. But then 4 came out, and it was
like slowed down too. They even slowed the game down.
Hey, they have Star Wars, which is cool, and they have all these characters, which is cool.
But then you put Yoda in the game, but you can't fucking grab Yoda.
That shit was.
I'm like, this gameplay. Well,
the gameplay was very, but it was like, it mixes up for the character selection.
Yeah, 4 was fun, but gameplay wise, as a competitive game, it wasn't that great.
Oh no!
And then 5 came out. And it completely shit the bed, yo. Like, oh my god. I
completely understand why they took the Soul Calibur team and was like, look, y'all motherfuckers go work on Tekken for a little bit and then come back and show us what you learned. Honestly, I think the influence that, their style of, game development has had on the most recent Tekken game is very evident. Like, everything in that game just seems amazing. Like, the way that the characters play, the way that the stages transition, the way that everything works. Like, there's so many interesting situational options that appear in there. It really feels like something that used to happen with older Soul Calibur games. And, remember that, games were doing interesting things with, stages and walls way before they got integrated into Tekken. Like, Tekken 4, which I mentioned earlier, was such a letdown because of how poor the wall mechanics were
implemented. They just did a bad job with it.
Yeah, because, they just gave people infinites with one button for no reason.
I still like that game, though. I think Tekken 4 gets a bad rap because...
If you turn off the walls, Tekken 4 is a good game.
There you go.
But you can't turn off the walls, which is the problem. Exactly. Like they tried to get real like ambitious with it by putting the fighters in real environments, but that just introduced a whole lot of problems that they did.
It introduced everything that was not Tekken.
Now I will say
that and Just Frame Laser Scraper. Like, what the fuck were they thinking?
Well, I mean, everything that was Just Frame in Tekken 4 was broke.
Well, what the fuck were they thinking? That shit was dumb.
Roughly, now everything Just Frame in Tekken is kind of still fucked up.
Well, I mean, yeah, but no, it's like
we gonna look past that.
They were basically Just Frame Infinites in Tekken 4. Like,
I remember
Just Frame Unblockable Infinites.
I've been at 40th Street. No quarters left, just shaking my fucking head.
Wait, back in Tekken 4?
Back in Tekken 4, they had Tekken 4 machine in there.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just talking about that was Jesus, my nigga. That's ancient history.
Yeah, man, it was when I first started going. I like this game a lot. I'm gonna play it a bit more, and then it was. I stopped playing then.
and then the 40th Street, the arcade monsters got a hold of the ass.
They didn't let go. They didn't let go. Boy, man, that's when I first met Spider Mike and all them, and I didn't know no better. No, but it's. I feel like. No, but it's Bandai Namco really they rarely fuck up. When they do, it's always like, oh shit, how'd you do that? But most of the time they're pretty consistent.
The publisher and more at the developer.
Well, it's really difficult to fuck up as a publisher. Like, other than making sure that you back a game that sells well.
Yeah, it's really about the developer and how the game is going to really turn out.
Right, and I mean, Bandai Namco has like a large selection of titles that they hold IPs for and develop. Like, they own the entire Tales of series, which for the most part is pretty amazing overall as a series of RPGs.
Yeah, except for a couple. Looking at you, Symphonia.
Oh, alright. I will give Symphonia credit where credit is due.
Credits.
A lot of interesting things.
Graces.
I just don't like the main character.
Graces F.
Personal preference.
Graces F was better than regular Graces.
I mean, there's like a whole bunch of like other Tales titles that are like weird and experimental, and some of them are amazing. They just never came to the West, and that I'm kind of upset about.
And a lot of them are shitty.
Yeah, but
a few of them are shitty.
I would have liked if they would have released like the mythology series.
Yeah,
in the
that
West
would have been nice. But then like, you have shit like Legendia.
Yeah.
Literally has a counter of shit games ready to go. This is like,
in my opinion,
I got the receipts ready.
Legendia is like it's like the lowest tier Tales game, and it's not because like it was bad. It's just that the overall presentation of the game was very lackluster. Like, I was not interested at all.
It was horrible.
Like, it did the worst job of having you interested in the world whatsoever. Like, your character just started off as like this dude that like whooped people's asses, and like you were just like, okay, and you continued whooping people's asses the whole game. Like, it never felt like you were in a situation where like, oh no, this big dude just showed up. It's time for me to whoop his ass.
Right, whoop his
Maybe
ass.
I can't do it. Nope. Just immediately whooped his ass. No problems.
You know, the funny thing is,
in Mortal Kombat. Whoop his ass.
Whoop that.
Pretty much.
But the funny thing is, that sounds like my kind of character. Not so much like the character I like, but like the type of character that I would like aspire to be if I was a character.
Yeah, but like it just wasn't.
But that's not interesting.
No, I mean, like, all right. Let me put it to you this way: like, I understood like that the character's archetype existed previously in other games. Like, he basically fought like Farah from Tales of Eternia, and like Farah was a really kick-ass character that was a side character, and most people never played if they actually played that game, because 99% of the people that play Tales main character it the entire way through the game.
Yup.
But like Farah was this character that like was one of the first characters that you could play with that literally just had a completely different fighting mechanic than anybody else in the series previously. And so, like, actually learning how to play her and seeing what she could do was amazing. If like you got your hands on Eternia for the first time, and then they took the main character, and then they were like, "Oh, all right, he is now a brawler," and it was like, "Okay, that's great. What can he do? He grabs stuff." Well, like, wait, you mean like actual grabs? Yeah, like you just grab them, and then there's a throw, and it's like, all right, but like
isn't that kind of broken?
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you just chain grab people, and that's the game.
Oh, turn the main character into king, and then just the chain grabs never end.
It was like, oh, now like the only way that you can beat people is by like either having ridiculous stats and just trashing them, or by doing infinite combos, and it's just like, okay.
If you're not leveled up where you need to be, it's just like, all right.
At that point, it became an accuracy issue. Like either people could block your stuff because you were too inaccurate, or you just chain grabbed them to death, and that was the game. Think about how hyped the 1-on-1 fights were when you had to do like Reed versus Kless, or
I don't think they even know that.
No, just like
Rice definitely don't know that. He don't play RPGs.
Right, or like the arena battles with Yuri and
that was so unnecessary, nigga.
The arena battles with Luke from Abyss or Yuri. Like those were
hype because you got to see what those characters could do, and like you basically got to match up your skills against theirs, and it was pretty much like a fair fight.
Exactly.
But in this situation, it's like, oh, they got hit, and then they lost.
Pretty much, it's like, oh look, I'm just going to keep throwing them, and that's the game. And it didn't actually feel like there was any system to learn, or like there was a unique way of moving with the character and chaining their skills together. It was literally just grabs.
Yep. But the point being that even though Tales is overall great, they've come up with some pretty trash ones too.
If this is it, then I'm gonna go to bed.
I don't know, man. You can bow out whenever you want. Like I said, this
shit. Very impromptu. Man, we get ready to end it for the night. Let's just like really fully introduce ourselves. Honestly,
well, man, y'all already know this the Omega Squad. I'm Holly. Y'all can go ahead.
I'm Kenny Travers, your new favorite Cody player, because you probably know about me before, but give me a couple months and you will. I'm talking that shit.
Yo, sacred.
I'm just a mechanic.
Too. Good night.
Just a mechanic.
You guys have a good night.
Hey, introduce yourself, Neil Good.
Oh my god.
The mechanic. The fuck.
Okay, that's your name now. This
Riff. Big man Riff.
Omega Squad mechanic.
Omega Squad the mechanic. Well, yeah, I'm Omega Nitro. Freaking Omega Squad freaking Dancho.
Yeah, Lamar.
Whatever, man.
You resident 3D fighter now. And yeah. That's it.
All right, so that's a wrap, guys.
I got my man from the shadows, Brian, who, you know.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah.
Like commands some conversation. Period.
I was like, who the fuck is this for? I've never heard of him before.
Omega Squad Phoenix. Remember that.
Anyway, and I'm Rice, and I'm the guy who always plays female characters in every fight game.
Right.
That's how you introduce. That's alright. That's alright. In the future, we're gonna have like a full like freaking Gotcha Man or G-Force style like introduction where it's like, you know, you got where you got the Omega Squad leader, and then you got like the second in command Rice, and you got the freaking Rebel loose cannon dude that's Kenny.
That's Kenny.
And then you got Zordon, which is Brian. The mechanic bull, which is like which would be Riff, and then kind of like, you know,
Lamar, he was there too.
And then like no, you would be like, I don't want to say the child, but like the whole innocent character, you know what I mean?
No, brother, I don't have a lot to say. Like y'all always end up like, if anything, I'm the
character too. Like the character that just got this real like naive, innocent like personality and ask a lot of questions. That'd be you.
I will like Yusuf.
And then you got Yusuf. You know, the freaking Six Ranger. You never know what they expect out of him. So he would be the Six Ranger.
But yeah, it's
Yusuf, aka Asar.
And then Brian, like you know, Phoenix. He's just like I said. He's like he's just like the wise sage, man. He's like, you know. Then you throw out the Dark Magician and activate Time Wizard.
He come in here, he take his suit jacket off. He got a vest on under it. Put his briefcase on the table. I'm gonna say why that's bullshit. Click. Okay.
Anyway, that's the squad. Good night, everybody.
You forgot shout outs to the homies who came through.
Yo, shout outs to Giuliano for checking this out. Ivan
and Justin.
Coach. Justin, whoever.
Justin.
Coach.
This was entirely. But we'll be back with something a little better.
All right, deuces.
Peace.